Hello everyone, my name is Arijana Lukic and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my first bullet journal setup. I owned many journals throughout my life and they worked just okay for me, but since a friend of mine introduced me to bullet journaling, I decided to create my own and really get better organized. I watched some YouTube videos about bullet journaling to see what other people are doing, and I remember liking some ideas and disliking some others. I figured out that if I wanted to start with a structure that works for me the best, I needed to make a draft of my entire life and see exactly what my needs and wants are more in details. This was a long project. I believe it took me about 2 weeks in December to get organized. Just to show you that it took a lot of work, you can see here all the notes I took with my iPad. This was also my second draft. The first one was really messy, and I believe I have 2 other note pages with some additional stuff as well. As I decided to make bullet journaling work for me in the best practical way, I think preparing a good foundation was absolutely necessary. As most people, I got myself a Leuchtturm 1917 in an A5 size. Although I love the color, this wasn't my first choice. I bought 2 of them because they were sold at 50% discount during Christmas time, and all other colors were sold out. I am currently thinking to cover it with this mandala I made. This is my own design. One idea is to cut it in half and stick 1/2 on the back and 1/2 on the front. But I will wait until I'm sure about it. I made 40 of these mandalas that I usually sell in bigger size, which are 16 inch by 16 inch, and they are sold as high quality prints for framing or wall stickers on linen based material. But if anyone is interested in purchasing these mandalas printed on sticker papers, I'm willing to create a shop with small versions of them, like this one here. This is just an idea and you can simply leave me a comment below if you have an interest. For markers, I mainly use the Tombow brand because they don't bleed. I own so many markers already, but none of mine were suitable for this kind of paper, unfortunately. The good thing is that I got these Tombow markers at half price during the holiday season because they can be very expensive. For pens, I use Papermate Flares medium size. They come in so many colors and they are very inexpensive and they do not bleed either. The bookmarks that I have are these little cute sprouts. I find them very symbolic because the seeds we plant today will be growing in the future. They serve me as a little reminder as well. For the Washis, I use a ton of them to make things less dull. I probably accumulated 65 Washis over time and it's almost an addiction at this point, but I use them for my crafts as well, so they are all worth it. Okay, so let's get started and show you what is exactly inside my wonderful bullet journal. On this first page, I have my name, address, phone number, and email address in case my journal gets lost. Here I have a piece of cardstock with Be Love, Be Present written on it. If anyone wants to contact me, my email address is belovebepresent@gmail.com. This is also my mantra for the past 2 years and truly the words I try to live by every day. You will see this statement written everywhere on my Instagram and throughout my bullet journal. My first page of the index is almost full. I will show you why as we get through the next pages. I made this simple design here because I wanted something to represent my whole life separated into major segments. This came out as a result of a long draft I made while analyzing my lifestyle. I call it a creative lifestyle design for a purpose. I'm a creative person and designing this bullet journal is just simply a part of that creative mindset. I separated everything in the following sections: personal development, which pertains to personal growth and becoming a better person. Creativity, which globalizes all my creative artwork. Business, which includes everything I need to do to run my business, which goes all from marketing to accounting, etc. Relationships, which is connected to my inner circle only. I know some people use the word social, but for me, social life comes in all forms, even through business or travel. The inner circle is what I focus on here because I strive toward improving the quality of my relationships all the time. Then I have learning and development, which is connected to my studies and developing new skills. Home and lifestyle. This part is current right now as I'm trying to reorganize my life at home to make it the best suitable for my wants and needs. It's a long-term project, so it's definitely a section worth being on its own. Then I have travel and leisure, which also covers all my hobbies too. And lastly, health and wellness, and you will see in my tracker the importance of this one. On this page, I made a simple calendar for 2018. I really don't like it, but I will cover it eventually with a new one. I used the bold red color to outline some important dates, which doesn't look great, but for now it works for me and I'm okay with the mistakes. One major thing I want to change is to start my weeks on Mondays and not Saturdays. This will also match my weeklies because I chose to make them this way. Here I made a short event and birthday calendar, which I also use as a future log. I really dislike to rewrite things too many times, and I hope this will be enough space for me to enter major future dates that I can rewrite in my weeklies once they are ready. And I'm sorry I covered most of things here just because I wanted to cover people's names and some personal events coming up. On this page, I chose to make a gift list because gift giving in my life has to be meaningful, and I guess this is why I like to add more planning into it as well. And on this side, I made a wish list. This is for personal things and also for my creative artwork. If anyone asks what I want for my birthday, for example, I can give them options from this list, so the gift will be well used. On this side, I have my goals list for 2018. Nothing too crazy, but everything requires a lot of work, so we'll see where I'm at by the end of the year. Checking off few items here or everything would be very satisfying. On this page, I keep track of my art ideas. This is more for my drawings. I can always refer to this list if I need inspiration on what to do next. And for the YouTube ideas, it's functioning the same way as well. Okay, now we get to my crazy trackers. First of all, my trackers are made to work for me yearly. This is why they are in the beginning of my journal. I want to be able to refer to my trackers at the end of the year and have a good sense of where I stand. I love this idea, and this is how I made them. This one here is for my relationship. I never seen anyone making one yet, but for me, it's important. In my relationship, we have few values we live by that we try to implement as much as possible in our routine. So I made a list of 5 shared values that are really important, and I also numbered them 1 to 5. For each day of the month, I made enough space to enter up to 3 of those numbers. In fact, I think I can even enter 4 if I squeeze things a little bit. But as I can see in my pattern here, most likely I will not enter more than 3 together. To give you one really easy example just to help you understand my annual tracking system, let's say number 1 can be date night. You are a busy couple with children and planning date nights for you is necessary, and you and your partner absolutely love it because this is what makes your relationship grow deeper. So for every day of the year that you had a date night, you will enter number 1 in the field. At the end of the year, you will be able to see how many date nights you had altogether. The reason why I think this could be important is that there is a difference between desired outcome we want in our relationship and the actions we take to make them happen. This tracker for me becomes a great relationship analysis and acts as well as a reminder. I also like to look back at an entire year and be able to have a rough idea how this entire year was spent with my partner. The other great thing about this way of tracking is that the values are completely expandable over time. For example, in 4 months, we may find that we really love taking dance classes together and want to go as often as we can because it's fun and it makes us connect in a completely new way. So I would add value number 6 to the list, and I really don't have to change the structure at all. The next tracker is the emotion tracker, and isn't started yet because it is the most thing I have to finish developing yet. I believe this one will have probably over 30 numbers. The reason why it's complex, it's because I study a body-based psychology called bodynamic, and a mood tracker that I see around isn't complex enough for me. Like, I would not put in my list happy, for example, because it's just too vague, or unhappy because it's just too vague as well. With this tracker, I will develop a list of true feelings and body sensations. We are complex humans and it takes work to know oneself, so this helps me for personal development and therapy I am doing. I dedicated 4 squares for each day, in which I can add up to 5 numbers daily or even 6 if I squeeze them. On this side, you can see I added an extra page. This is my body map. The bodynamic system has the ability to map out your entire character by testing the tension in your muscles. So this represents all my ego functions, everything that I'm good at in life, and also what I'm not so good at. It shows if I have any shock and trauma and what part of my character is it affecting. So I use this map for my emotion tracker as well as my health tracker because it indicates which kind of exercise I need to implement in my routine to activate certain muscles and which one to stretch. Without going too much into details, I just want to say that there are even muscles in our bodies that are responsible for planning. So yes, as a child, we developed planning skills, and if you develop well in them and are healthy in this area, the tension in those particular muscles would be indicated by the color yellow. Mine are yellow, and that means that I'm pretty resourced and I have very good planning skills. If those muscles happen to be too tensed, which is represented by the color red, that means that they are too rigid and results in a person who is really rigid in their planning and possibly is addicted to lists and trying to make things happen in a rigid structure way with really high expectations. If you haven't developed well during childhood in these skills, those muscles will be then hypo and represented by the color blue. The more blue it is on this scale, the less ego function the muscle have developed in this area. So if you're really bad at planning, this is possibly why. In simple terms, everything that is too rigid needs to be stretched, and all the muscles that are hypo in the blue area need to be activated. Maybe one day I will make an entire video on this system, but this is just a hint for now. I am personally fascinated by the bodynamic work, and this is one reason why. For the exercise tracker, I divided it in 5 main numbers using the same principle as before, but each number can have a complex system written down which can be modified along the way. Example, number 4 can be cardio and gym routine, but the routine can change over time, although number 4 will always represent the same category. Number 1 for me is my bodynamic exercise routine. I think number 2 is the exercise routine assigned to me by my kinesiologist, and all those routines can change over time, but I will keep the same number representing them. So again, it's all about making it work best for me rather than just making it pretty or a drawing project. I really want to have a good control over my health, and this tracker will help me long-term to improve over time. Then I have a hormone tracker. I decided to make it a little complex again. I think I have, again, 5 numbers assigned here that help me track what is going on with my body and show me if I have any changes in my patterns and anything unusual arising. Here is my social media tracker. My next goal with YouTube is to reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys love my video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. The last section here was supposed to be Etsy, but I finally decided not to open an Etsy store and just keep selling through my website instead. Then I have an art tracker. In this one, my numbers are assigned depending on the media I use. This one will help me to visualize how many art pieces I made in the whole year, which media I use the most, and will show me my productivity as a whole. This is my travel list. Yes, I made a mistake and decided to play along with it because it's fun. I travel quite often, so a master list was a way to go for me because I dislike writing one every time. I mainly use it to review at the end if I forgot something, and it's really covering every single season depending if we are going to the beach or if we are going snowboarding. This list is very simple. It's a quick dinner list. Every time I need an inspiration on what to cook, I use it as a quick reference. Same goes for the remedies list. I find this one very useful. Sometimes we get so busy and forget simple remedies that are in our own pantry. Instead of opening internet, I can quickly open my bullet journal instead. Right here is my master task list. I think it's about 90% full. I may add other things to it in the future, but it's really covering well all the tasks I do in the entire year, and it's divided into 6 different time frames. This helps me plan ahead and schedule things in the future. I think I love the idea of visualizing few months ahead of time instead of coping with last-minute planning. Here is my list of the books I read. I didn't want to write down future books to read because that makes me lose my sense of accomplishment or even gives me more pressure. I know I read already. I will always grab a book when I go on a trip, but I will never know how I feel and which one I will actually end up taking. Currently, my favorite books are rather about psychology or personal development. I am reading right now Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel, and she's been a therapist for more than 30 years, and I really want to know what she has to say on the subject. Here we start my weeklies. You can see I screwed up on my little trackers here that I covered with Washis. There's nothing special about my weeklies. I track 3 simple things that I don't care about being in my annual trackers. They're just simple reminders. And at the end of each month, I have a heartstorming section. I use the word heartstorming, and this just kind of invites me to pour out things out of my heart. So this is all inspiration based for myself. And on this side here, I have income spending and copyright art log. So this page here is mainly business related and not personal, and I will be logging some of my artwork in the future to get a copyright. On the next page, I have heartfelt moments. Here is a little picture that I didn't stick yet. It is very poor quality, but I think this is very meaningful. We were in Denmark and had a very nice dinner with friends that we love. So it was a very special evening, and I will still put it here. Then in Germany, in Munich, I went to the Alte Pinakothek with a friend, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very nice art gallery, and I really had so much fun. And I also purchased in Germany an item that had this tag, and on the tag it was written Certificato di Autenticità, which means in English the certificate of authenticity. And considering what this page is trying to carry as a meaning, I felt that it just kind of has its space there. So it's not the most pretty thing, but I decided to put it there anyway. And then we start the month of February. I really enjoy matching washi tapes. Again, this is gonna become some illustrations in the future. Maybe I'll cover these as well, but it's very simple layout. All my mistakes, I cover them with washis because it's just easier to do so. As you can see here, my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're all written in German. I used to study German from 2002 to 2004. So it's been such a long time, and it's time for me to relearn the language a little bit. So as you can tell, everything repeats itself all over again. And I have a heartstorming section, income spanning, copyright log, heartfelt moments, and then we start March. And March is actually not different. I might just write things a little bit differently here, but this is definitely a design that I will improve over time. But the structure works for me very well. So this is really good for me. I work only with weeklies all my life anyway, so I don't need like dailies and things like that, because my weeklies are a simple structure for me to just lead my day and also plan ahead of time what I will be doing, but I don't need like making crazy lists in them at all. And I will be improving on the aesthetic of things. One other thing I'm thinking is to make stickers for this portion here, just because I don't really like how I make these little calendars. They're just too plain, and sometimes I even screw them up. So if this doesn't change, then I will just keep putting stickers, and I will make them for every week of the year. So I finished everything until the end of March, actually 1st of April. So this is it for my entire bullet journal that I have made so far. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!